Thanks, though. You know, we could be talking to what other people are seeing us. And, you don't know
Okay, we're on.
Finally.
Finally. I thought technology was going to get the better of us this week. Okie dokie. Right, let me just find out how I see everybody's comments.
Just click on
There we
the
are. Look, lots of people saying hello. Hello there from Zoe, from Cara. Hi from Keir in Glasgow. Hi from Esme in Inverkip. Hunter, Orlo and John here. They're becoming right regulars. Hi from Sam, Amelia and Old Kilpatrick. Hello from Elise and Esme again. Hello from Lachlan and Kira and Bearsden. Hi from Neve and Forfer. Do you know who Neve and Forfer is?
No.
She's my cousin's little girl. So I don't know what that would make her to you. Some kind of second cousin, don't know. Don't understand cousins. She's our cousin. Hi from Isla Grant in Mulgai. Hi from Ewan and Paisley. Hi from Lewis and Gouda. So lots of hellos. So what are we making today, Tate?
Orange and carrot cake?
Well, we just call it carrot cake. And what amazing fact did you just discover about carrot cake?
Oh! Wait, at school, we had to do something every day, and one of them was big carrot cake. We're gonna bake carrot cake.
But that was actually just a complete coincidence. It wasn't. That wasn't why we chose carrot cake, was it? Because we found out the other day. No, but what did you say? Right, stop doing anything else. What did you say when you came up and saw that?
Huh?
When you came up here and you saw those, what did you say?
I don't know. Wait, what? I don't remember.
About 2 minutes ago, when Tate came up here, you said, "Carrot cake has carrots in it."
I never actually knew carrot cake has carrots in it because I never even tasted any.
So that was revelation number 1. And revelation number 2, Tate tells me that he doesn't like carrot cake.
Yeah.
So tough. Well, I'm gonna have a lot of carrot cake to eat this
I
weekend.
like it.
Right, so let's dive in.
Well, it was 4 minutes.
What's our first step every week, Tate?
No,
What's our first 2 steps every week?
Wash hands.
Oh, okay, first 3 steps. Wash hands, tin, oven.
Oven!
I just wash my hands, you wash your hands. I'll put the oven on. The oven is going on at, we're going to fan oven of 180. So we'll put on our fan oven to 180.
Hold on one second. Wait, what? Wait, what? This balloon is moving places.
We have got Tate's not just staring at a spaceship. We've got a helium balloon stuck on our ceiling.
It's now coming down right now.
It's making movement for the first time once. Okay, let's pay attention. Let's stop looking at the balloon. So, you've washed your hands, I put the oven on, and now we're going to do the tin. So, we've got a 9-inch round tin, a loose bottom again, but it doesn't need to be that. What did we do last time with the tin, Tate?
We greased it?
We greased it, but we drew around with a pencil. So I'll hold, you draw around. Okay, so circle around the tin. So the last couple of weeks we have greased the tin about that. Oh, we kind of missed a bit.
Mini.
Okay, go around again. The last couple of weeks we've greased it with butter. This week, because we're using oil in our cake, we're going to grease the tin with oil. That's not because of taste or anything, it's purely to do with ease.
What did you do?
I'm just getting scissors. Because we have got the oil here, so it's as easy to do that. Right, come on, up.
Okay. I got the pencil back.
So you cut round in a circle, round 2, and I'm going to get a silicone brush, and I've got some sunflower oil here which we're going to use in a second in the cake anyway, and I'm just going to dip my little silicone brush in the oil and go around.
What's wrong with these scissors?
choose another here.
Okay.
And we'll see if it's the scissors or if it's you.
It's not me.
So I'm going around the sides, oiling that particularly carefully.
Yeah, it's the scissors.
It's the scissors, okay. So, because we're not going to have greaseproof paper around the sides, I'm just making sure particularly well that the sides are done well. So, up the sides. Right, okay. Take the Wanderer, how are you getting on?
Good.
He's just off screen doing his cutting. So that's the tin greased. Right, I'll wait for Tate to come back. So oven should be on at 180 fan. Hi from Granny and Grandad. Hello. Hi from Abby and Alex. The 3 smiley sisters are watching from Lochburn. Aww. Hi from Zara and Bearsden, age 7. Happy 8th birthday to Leon in Bearsden. Oh, happy birthday! Are you going to have carrot cake for your birthday cake? Hi from Flora and Fraser in Dunblane. The lemon drizzle cake was amazing. Excellent.
Hey, did you grease this?
I already greased it. So you've taken just got a circle of greaseproof and is now pressing it into the bottom of the tin. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to mix our eggs, our oil and our sugar in a mixing bowl. So either in a freestanding mixer like I've got here, in a hand mixer like we've used the last couple of weeks, or just do it by hand and just put some elbow grease into it. So we're going to put our eggs, our oil, our milk and our sugar into here.
Eggs, oil, milk, sugar.
Eggs, oil, milk, sugar.
Okay, first of all, eggs. Where are the eggs?
We've got the
Wait, oh, that's a lot of
tabs. We've got
Here.
the milk.
Oh, it's the oil.
Very chatty this week. Very chatty.
What's the difference?
So,
See?
do you want to do eggs first?
You're not having it. Oh,
Right. So we're going with 3 eggs.
yeah.
So if you break your eggs
Oh,
into your mixing bowl.
wait, what? Where are you? Oh, that's why you're.
And then we've got the oil and the milk in grams rather than in volume measurements.
This is hard to break.
I find it easier if you're already using scales anyway, rather than having to get out a measuring jug and measure things like oil and milk in a measuring jug. We've just got it in grams for you, so hopefully that should make it easier.
There we go. Get it. Oh, 2.
No,
Wait, what?
well, I put 1 in.
Oh,
So that's 2.
that's
2 out of 3.
Oh, there's no other egg smashing in.
So the third one in, and then the oil, it's 150 grams of oil.
What's that brown thing?
That's just a little bit of egg. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Want to wipe your hands?
Yes.
There you go. Okay, and then sunflower oil. Okay, so take your scale back to 0. Tear it back to 0.
It's all
Tear
tear.
it back to 0.
No.
And then very careful, very careful.
How much?
You're pouring 150 grams, right, slowly, because oil's heavy, so if it doesn't look, remember, and hang on, so what Tate's doing there is leaning something on the side of the bowl. That's not a good idea, because that means you're weighing what you're holding. Yeah, okay, so yeah, nice and high. Okay, 40, 50, 70, 80,
100.
more, 150 we're going for.
100.
20, yeah, okay. So that's 150 grams of sunflower oil.
It's heavy.
And now we need 75 grams of full fat milk. Or if you don't have full fat milk, green milk is fine. Or is red milk.
Red milk.
So tear it back.
Oh, I remember red milk.
Tear back to 0 again.
How much?
75 grams of milk.
75. 85.
No, that's just 5.
5.
5. Right, done.
118.
Okay, so Tate's now proved why it's bad to put everything in at the same time, because you just put too much milk in. And now it's going to be a struggle to get it out because we've got everything else in there. Clearly, end of homeschooling week number 4, Mummy's losing the plot and forgetting what to do. Okay, so let's get some sort of thing to try. So do you see what's happened? Your milk sunk to the bottom. Do you know why that is?
Because everything's in there.
Because your milk's heavier than your oil. Right, I'm going to see if I can...
That won't work. That will work. Or you're just going to take everything out. If you like it.
It's all going horribly wrong. Right, so what are we trying to get to? 75. They say
This is
never
not-
work with children and animals, and this is why. Okay, 95.
Wait, whoever said that? How dare you?
Right, back right here.
Okay.
Week number 3 of Bake Along is when you're going to see me lose the plot with Tate.
Wait.
Okay.
It's not week 9, no.
It's week number 3.
Wait.
Okay,
We just used
right, there we go. We've taken a bit of liquid out. We've probably got a bit of oil, but we'll hope it doesn't have too much. Okay, so hopefully that didn't happen to anybody else.
It did!
So we have now got our eggs, our oil, our milk, and we need to add our sugar. Right, Tate, sugar.
Sugar!
So we're using 2 types of sugar. We're using soft light brown sugar. No, we're not. I'm talking nonsense. We're using all soft brown sugar. Really is. It's all going wrong this week. Right, so we're using just soft light brown sugar.
Does that
And
say
we
salad? Or
need
cinnamon?
250 grams. Now, to avoid what just happened there, we'll measure the sugar into a different bowl and then we'll pour it in, which is what we should have done in the first place. Right, so tear that piece, Tate.
That's sweet. That looks like a... That's sweet sugar.
Tear. Okay,
Looks...
250 grams of sugar, please.
Oh, that smells. 200. I feel like I'm just going to drop the whole thing in.
David Bruce says he had double yolk in my egg. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen double yolk. Lots of people asking how much milk and oil. So we've got...
Oh, it's like sand. It's just sticking together.
So in our mixing bowl, we've
Well,
got 3
We are
eggs.
having 200, so I shouldn't feel too free.
In our mixing bowl, we've got 3 eggs,
250?
150 grams of sunflower oil, 75 grams of milk, and
I
Tate's
feel
just
like we need all of this.
Tate's just weighing out 250 grams of light brown sugar. Okay, we might need all of it.
40?
Right, 5 more. Okay, 5 more out. So we want to 255, take a wee blob out.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Okay, now pour that into the mixing bowl, please.
Okay.
Carefully, well done. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, one last recap, 3 eggs, 150 grams of sunflower oil, 75 grams of blue milk, and 250 grams of light soft brown sugar. If you don't have light soft brown sugar, you could either do all castor sugar, or you could do, right, or you could do half castor sugar and half dark light brown sugar.
No, what we do?
You're going to be quiet, please, for 1 minute. So, we're going to mix this, and we're going to mix it for about between 3 and 5 minutes. So while this is mixing, and it's going to be quite noisy, I'm going to explain what the next step is, so that if you can't hear what I'm saying, it doesn't really matter once we turn this on. So what we're going to do while this is mixing is grate our carrots. So we are using 300 grams of carrots. Now, that 300 grams is your carrots once they are grated. So you'll probably have to use about 400 grams of unprepared carrots. So once you've taken your carrot and topped and tailed it, and if you need to peel them, sometimes carrots these days, they come so clean that you don't really need to peel them, but if you do, that'll obviously take a bit off. So your 300 grams should be it once they are grated. So I've got our carrots here, peeled and topped and tailed, and I'm going to use I've got a food processor which I'm going to use, so I'm going to grate mine through that, which won't take very long. But a lot of you might be doing it by hand, so it's a good thing to do while you're mixing your wet ingredients together. So I'm going to put that on to mix. It'll probably be quite loud.
Can I come back?
Nope. We'll start grating the carrots, which will also be loud. And then while that is still mixing, I'll just read out some hellos and things like that. So you won't be missing anything to do with the actual recipe. Right, you're allowed to come back now, Tate.
Yay!
Okay. So, did you hear what I just said? Were you listening?
No.
Did you have your listening ears on?
No.
No. Unsurprising. Right, we're going to mix this.
Whoa! What did you expect?
We're going to mix this. And then we're going to grate our carrots while this is mixing. This is going to mix for about 3 to 4 minutes.
It's broken.
No, it's not broken.
No.
There we go, that's it. Okay, so we'll start on slow speed and then we'll get faster and faster. Okay? Carrots. We're going to grate our carrots now.
Yes.
Okay? So, do you want to help?
Sure.
Or do you not like the help?
Sugar.
Right, do you want to turn your stove on? Start mixing faster. I'll stop this just for a moment, just so you can hear me. So we've actually grated lots of carrots, probably too many, but we're just going to have the leftover ones for dinner. So we're going to measure out 300 grams of carrots, and then I'm going to start zesting my orange on top of my carrots. I forgot to get an actual orange, so I'm just going to use 2 satsumas. So I'll turn this back on, and we're just weighing 300 grams of carrots out of our grated mix, and our oranges on top of there.
I thought you said Daddy ate the last bit.
Right, 300 grams. Tell me when?
Keep going. Keep going. You got it. Stop. There we go. That's it. That's it. No, 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 no. Back in. More. Ah.
5 more.
More.
Oh, there we go.
One more.
Do one more to go.
Yes.
Bottom. Okay. 2. Okay. So we're going to start zesting our oranges. Do you want to do this?
Sure.
Are you going to be very careful? Careful with your fingers.
Okay.
One and then turn.
I know. That's not sweet.
So hello from Emily and Bella. We love the weekly bake along. Aww. How did you prep the tin? Just sunflower oil and sunflower oil rubbed around the tin, and then a piece of gooseberry. Yeah, mix is going a bit too wild. not even got to the sugar yet and you start picking off the surface.
What?
Do you want to beat out some holes?
No.
Why?
Because.
One.
How?
We're just using 2 satsumas because I didn't have 1 big orange. What was that?
Collie McKay. Hi from Polly and Molly.
Polly and Molly. Hi, Polly and Molly. Anyone else?
Let's see. 3 sisters big.
Oh, that's just Auntie Jilly
Mm.
saying hello to people.
Hello.
Okay, that I was just zesting 2 satsumas. If you've got a big orange,
Please use one.
just 1 orange is fine. But I didn't have one, so I just used 2 satsumas.
The screen looks a bit fuzzy.
Well, if you know how to fix that tape, you charge on.
Okay.
Right, no. I was kidding. Back round here. Back being my helper.
Okay.
We've now got 2 parts of our mixture. The third thing we need is our dry ingredients, which is our flour, our raising agent,
And our cinnamon?
and our spices. Yes.
Cinnamon?
So, into this bowl.
Baking powder.
So put your grated carrots and your zested orange to one side. Your
I feel like
wet mix should be looking quite nice and fluffy now. It should be lighter in colour and fluffy. Going to get a piece of grated carrot out of the bowl. You're going to weigh into there, Tate. You're going to weigh 155 grams of wholemeal flour. We had lots of questions about wholemeal flour. It is a minefield. There is so many types.
Oh. It's not.
Our recipe suggests using strong wholemeal flour. Plain wholemeal flour is also fine. Or if you've got extra strong, that should be okay as well. Strong flour is normally for bread. It works okay in a carrot cake. You wouldn't want to, right, so you need to tear your scales.
Oh my goodness, that is so much.
Tear your scales, okay.
It is.
155 grams. Remember to watch your numbers. So strong flour is normally for baking bread. You wouldn't use strong flour in something like a sponge cake because the sponge cake is so delicate that it wouldn't work for that. But because a carrot cake is a bit more robust, you can get away with using strong flour. You need to just be careful that when you add your dry ingredients into your wet, 155, that you don't overmix it because it could make the cake go a bit tough. So 155 grams of wholemeal flour. Someone's just asking 155 for wholemeal flour.
155.
Okay, good. Now we're going to add in self-raising flour, so that's just white self-raising flour. Don't like that, that won't taste nice.
I will not like it, I'm just
110 grams. Now, are we going to be very careful with this?
Yeah.
Because of what happened earlier, because it's harder to take stuff out when it's mixed. So use a spoon.
Well, this isn't. Wait. Oh no, this is not the important bit. This is not.
Tear your scales.
This isn't the very important piece.
What's the very important piece?
The baking powder.
That's right. 110. Oh, you covered it all in flour. 110 grams of self-raising flour. That's 30. 55. 80. One more spoon. Okay, another spoon. That's 90. 105. Another little spoon. Wait. Okay. Good. Stop. That's 155 grams of wholemeal flour and 110 grams of self-raising flour. Salt. We need 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
Okay, where's the jiggly spoons?
Jiggly spoons are here. So a quarter of a teaspoon is that.
So that.
Not very much. Quarter of a teaspoon of salt.
Does that have to be precise?
Yes. Good. Okay. That's in there. Let's go.
It's weird, you're making such a massive cake, and some things you're using such a tiny amount.
I know, it's salt. Really, the reason that we put salt in baking, is just to bring flavours out. You don't want something that you don't want a cake to actually taste salty. It just brings the flavours out. Baking powder, half a teaspoon. So get your teaspoons again.
Half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon.
Someone's asking, is gluten-free flour okay? Yes, I would imagine that's fine. I haven't ever made a gluten-free carrot cake, but I think it should work okay.
Half a teaspoon. Precise.
Yes, half teaspoon. We got the right. No, that's a quarter again.
Hmm?
That's a quarter.
Oh, half is this one.
You see?
Wait, I can read. Half teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon of baking powder. Hi from Connor and Easy in Renfrew. Someone's saying how. That's fine, that's good.
Yeah, but it's a bit.
Wholemeal flour, 155 grams. So that's our baking powder, and now we're going to use 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate soda. 1 teaspoon. Can you find the 1 teaspoon measure?
1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. 1
Can we see what your mixture looks like? Yes. I'll try and show you what this looks like.
Here is 1 teaspoon.
Right, I'm going to hold this up and hopefully you can see in the bowl. So it's gone pale and fluffier and bubbly looking.
Is this the normal?
Hang on, that's bicarbonate soda. Let me just check. 1 teaspoon, yeah, that's right. So smooth it off into the bowl. That's good. And 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. So I'll run through all these again in a wee sec. So 1.5 of cinnamon.
How much?
1.5. So you need to use.
I know, I can read it. 1 tablespoon.
So you'll need to. You're doing 1.5. So you'll need to do a 1 teaspoon. 1.5 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon.
No, that's tablespoon.
Yes. 1 tablespoon.
So 1 teaspoon.
Wait, then what's this one? 1 tablespoon. Huh?
1 teaspoon.
Okay. 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon.
What blade did you use in your kitchen machine? I used my my paddle. Let me just see it here. My flat paddly one. If you have a whisk is good. I don't have a whisk because it broke. Hang on.
What?
Half teaspoon. Okay, so that's your half. Now you have to do your whole.
Where's my
Yeah, if you have got a whisk attachment is good. It's probably slightly better than this. But mine broke. Sorry, what happened?
Here we go.
Now let me double check. Is that definitely 1?
Yeah.
1 teaspoon. Okay.
Told you so. I made. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Our dry ingredients are all now in the bowl. In the bowl we have got 155 grams of wholemeal flour, 110 grams of self-raising flour, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of bicarb, and 1.5 of cinnamon. So that's all our dry ingredients in there. Now what we are going to do is we're going to sieve our dry ingredients in with our wet ingredients. Okay? Sieve.
Oh, 7. Alright, 7.
Okay, sieve. Is sweet cinnamon okay? I imagine so. I don't actually know what sweet cinnamon is, but I imagine it's just sugared cinnamon. I'm sure that'd be fine. Just a little bit of extra sweetness in your cake. Hi from Elsie and Renfrew. Do mix them all together. We're going to mix you mix all your dry ingredients together. We're going to sieve all our dry ingredients into our wet mixture. So in our mixing bowl in the first place, we had eggs, oil, milk and sugar, and we beat them, whisked them for about 5 minutes until they were a bit light and fluffy. And now we're going to sieve our dry things into our wet things. Okay? Right, I'll take this out.
Was that Robbie's friends?
Blade that I used. Right, you pay attention please.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
So sit here. Okay. I'll put the dry ingredients through here. Yeah, that's right. Take you start to sieve. Good. Right, you keep going.
One second.
We're having a
It's
technical
quite
malfunction.
It's quite heavy.
Right, keep going with that. Oh, I think we're back. Go back, go back. Did we go away? I'm not sure. It said on my one that we went away. So,
I don't know what to do.
you just, yeah, you keep going. 7, 7, 7. Pardon? So, remember last time I lifted the bowl up and just bashed it off my hand. What will happen when you're using wholemeal flour, you'll start to get a lot of the bits of wholemeal flour left in your sieve. We are then going to just tip them in. This way it just helps to add a bit of air. So once you're down to having mostly just your wholemeal bits, just tip them in.
I'm shrinking.
How fine should the carrots be? They don't need to be that fine. I use my larger blades on my food processor and it's fine. So either your fine blades or your larger blades is fine as well. Is it 75 grams of milk or 75 mils? It's 75 grams of milk. Okay.
Whoa.
So now we are going to give this. Wait. Now we're going to give this a mix.
It's what? Hand mix? It's what? Hand mix?
We're going to
Okay.
put it back on here.
I want to use the hand mix.
We're going to use the hand mix to make the icing. Icing. Okay.
No, that's
So we're going to mix the wet and the dry ingredients quite quickly. We don't want to overmix because at this point, if you do overmix it, then your cake can end up tough. So I'm just putting it on the slow setting for now.
Oh, here it comes.
Here it comes.
It's coming. No, it's coming. 2.
Right, a quick mix, and then I'm going to stop for a second, and I'm going to scrape the sides.
Scrape the sides.
You're all going to get very bored of me talking about scraping the sides. Very important. Why do you scrape the sides, Tate?
So it doesn't stick to the wall. We'll get every single bit of the mixture.
Exactly. So that you don't have a big lump of.
Is the only reason that's turning brown the sugar and cinnamon, or is it just the cinnamon?
And the wholemeal flour.
And the wholemeal flour.
Yeah.
Why is it turning brown that then?
Right. So that's just giving that a wee scrape. So we'll get another maybe 30 seconds mixing. Carrots are not in yet. We're about to add the carrots in after this. Right, I just gave it one wee quick burst and that's us. So, your mixture should look, I'm trying to show you, get this dripping everywhere. Your mixture should look like this. So nice and sort of all combined, nice and shiny. And now we're adding our carrots in. So now we are adding our carrots and our oranges in. Take your for them in.
Sure.
Okay. So at this point you can either mix it in by hand. If you're using a handheld mixer or a whisk mixer, the carrots do tend to get a bit sort of stuck in the whisk. So you might just want to use your hand, just hand mix these in.
What do you mean hand mix?
This should be okay because I've got
stick
this
your hands in?
with a spatula. Hand mix with a spatula. So we'll just mix our carrots in. We've made a right mess today, Tate. I don't feel like we're working in a clean and tidy fashion today. Okay, so I've literally just given that maybe 20 seconds to bring it together, and then I'm just going to give it another mix using my spatula. Scrape everything off my blade.
We like the table.
A lot lots of people asking, do we add the carrots? We've just added the carrots.
Why?
Someone's saying that my recipe said 150 and I'm saying 155. Sorry about that. I must have printed off a slightly different version than I put on. 5 grams won't make any difference. So if you've gone 150, that's totally fine. 155, that's fine.
It doesn't matter.
Excellent tidying. Excellent cleaning. Okay. Just giving that a quick mix by hand. So again, I'll try and show you that mixture. Get your carrots all nicely mixed through there.
Ow.
Ow. And now we're going to pour it into our tin. Tate, do you want to pour it into the tin? Or do you want me to hold it and you scrape?
I shall keep wiping.
You'll keep wiping. Okay.
There we go.
So we'll take our tin, which was a 9-inch round tin.
I think I might give it a little bit.
And we'll pour our mixture into there.
Just the knife. Quick rinse. Get all the dragging off.
There we are. Okay, and that is now going to go in the oven, which is preheated to, okay, enough cake. We can't hear anything. Which we preheated to 180 fan. So, that is our cake now in the oven. Thank you. Now, I'm going to show you, hang on. I'm going to show you how to make the icing and how to ice the cake, but you guys won't be able to do this until later on because you'll need to wait for your cake to bake and then to cool.
This is. Looks like chocolate cake.
It does look like chocolate cake, but it's not.
It's not.
So, here's one I made earlier.
You mean yesterday?
You mean yesterday, exactly.
I mean the day before yesterday.
Again, no secrets. Tate outing everything I do. The good thing about carrot cake is it actually keeps really well because the carrots keep it really nice and moist. So actually, even though
This weighs 900.
even though I did make it 2 days ago, it will actually still taste lovely.
Dun, 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 dun,
Flash, flash, flash.
I don't like it.
So, we'll make our icing now. Sorry, how long in the oven? 55 minutes. 55 minutes in the oven. So this is longer than you would bake something like a sponge because the carrots obviously
Have
keep
to
the
heat
cake
up.
quite. The carrots have to heat up, exactly. The carrots are quite a wet ingredient, so you need longer for this cake to bake.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun. And we are going to use our hand mixer to make this icing because, again, if you have got, this icing is good made with more like a whisk attachment, and I don't have a whisk attachment for this, so if you do have,
well, try a piece.
if you do have,
Last time I did have carrot cake was I was like 4?
so maybe your taste has matured and that now you like carrot cake.
I think. But what?
So take a kind of medium to large size mixing bowl.
What? This balloon is bonkers.
And the first thing we're going to do
What's going on?
right, take concentration.
This balloon is bonkers.
The icing has got 3 ingredients. It's got icing, sugar, butter, and cream cheese. One mistake that a lot of people make with cream cheese icing is they put everything in together and mix and it comes out lumpy. That is because butter is not as solvent. Don't do that. What happens if you lose the pot with your child on live Facebook?
I don't know.
So your cream cheese is softer than your butter. So when you put them all together, if you put all 3 of them together, then they come out lumpy. So the way to avoid that is to mix your icing sugar and your butter first and get that really, really soft, and then add in your cream cheese. So it's 100 grams of icing sugar, 85 grams of butter, and 200 grams of cream cheese. And we're going to do our icing sugar and our butter first. Right, so butter, right, Tate, you coming back up?
No.
No, you're not?
Yes.
Okay, so 85 grams of soft butter. So we'll tear our scales.
Mummy,
Yes.
you haven't even told. Someone asked you last week what's your favourite thing to make, and you still haven't said anything.
Someone said, I said wine tonight. I think I touched the glass now. Yes.
Well,
Good idea.
We'll have some.
I mean, I hope that probably this just demonstrates how nearly everybody feels about by this stage in homeschooling. It's some days are great, some days are less great. And I'm just dealing with one of you at the moment.
Two.
Well, I mean right now. So what am I doing butter wise? I'm doing 85 grams, okay? There we go. So someone's asking, do we do this now or later? You could make the icing now if you'd like and then put it on. So you don't want to put icing on a cake when it is at all warm because it will just start to melt. So your cake needs to be really cool, and something like a carrot cake retains the heat for quite a long time. So it does need probably like a good maybe 3 hours at least to cool. Like, so when you touch it, you have to just feel like there's no warmth in it. But if you want to make your icing now, you can do that and then just top it later. So we've got 85 grams of soft butter, and then icing sugar is 100 grams. Tate, do you want to carefully measure out 100 grams of icing sugar?
We're gonna add water to it because I like mixing it when we.
No, that's making water icing. That's for doing things like Empire biscuits.
Oh, I like
If you do, stand up please. So 100 grams into there. 100 grams. Right, and I'm going to go get the hand mixer. 100.
2, 3. 100 spoons is quite a lot. 4, 5, 6.
100 and stop. Okay. So what a good idea when you're making icing, if you're mixing butter and icing sugar, if you stick something like your hand mixer straight into it, it will just make the icing sugar go everywhere. So a good idea is to use a knife or a fork or something to by hand to start mixing it in, so that you don't, and then get your hand mixer in later. Hang on, that's dirty. That's just got a bit of caramel. Okay, so just really carefully, because
You just said it was dirty, and then you just took it hand.
well, I took the thing. I thought it was something else on it, but it was just a bit of carrot on it. So just chopping up the butter into little pieces. Hi, Rebecca from Renfrew. Oh, someone's saying this is for their papa for his birthday cake. Oh, that's lovely. That's our cream cheese. Handily enough, the tub of cream cheese is 200 grams exactly, which is what we need.
Okay, what? We need the whole cup.
We need the whole cup.
Wait, that might be quite strange.
That's it.
It's not like water. What? Cream cheese is very sticky, so you can't just dump it in. Wait, can you?
No. You were not listening. What did I say? I said do not mix them all these together, otherwise it will go. Hello to Katrina, watching and baking in Hong Kong. Wow, that's amazing. Loving the comedy routine. We'll need to try this, but might fail. I've not got a singing assistant.
What?
someone saying you're a singing assistant. Hi from Liam in Linwood. Hi from Emily in Glasgow. Tell everyone what happened to your face.
What?
Your chin.
No, thank you.
You don't want to tell everyone what happened?
No.
It's almost better.
People all over the world are watching this.
People all over the world might know what happened to your face. Tate fell off his bike. This is it. I think it was last Saturday, so this is you almost recovered. You were it looked quite sore, didn't it?
No.
Right, so this is really slow what I'm doing. I've got a fork and I'm just mashing the butter in because I'm trying to avoid the icing sugar going in. So that should hopefully be enough. We'll get my hand mixer now. Right, so Tate, I'll do, so hang on, put that down. You're making it all disgusting.
What am I doing?
You just mushed it all up. Move that way. I'll do this to start with. Okay. Just need to get so kind of fluffing up the way. Hi to Charlotte and C.L. Hi from Sophie and West Bright. Someone's asking if we have any Valentine's boxes at Kilmacombe Market tomorrow. So we're doing a farmers market in Kilmacombe tomorrow. We unfortunately don't have any Valentine's boxes, although we will have the constituent parts mostly.
You guys have a lot of species that
so you could buy various tray bakes and put them in a box of your own. So for the first while when you do this, it just sort of looks all like a breadcrumb mixture. So it just takes a while to actually get it to mix into a, so I'll show you. So I'll show you at the moment. It still just looks kind of all, it's quite
yellow.
It's still all crumbly looking. And we want it to be all together in a more soft icing. So I'm just getting the back of the spoon in. Sometimes it helps once you've given it a little bit of a mix, just to sort of get a spoon or fork in. Lesson to self, don't wear this shirt baking again. It's really annoying. Do you want to chop them off, Tate?
Sure.
I shouldn't say this kind of thing, he'll take me seriously. No, I'm joking. Joking. Okay, so it's starting to come together when I do it with the back of my spoon. And then put the mixture back in. Have you put the cream cheese in? Not yet, so this is just the butter and the icing sugar. So see the way that's now starting to come together? It's now in a kind of all together in a blob. And I'm going to just give this a good couple of minutes to make sure it's really nice and soft. That's now all together in a kind of buttercream consistency. I'll just get a new spatula.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
going to add the cream cheese in now, Kate.
I want to do that.
It's 200 grams of cream cheese, and we actually don't need to measure this because I know that the tub is 200 grams. Okay.
Ready? Thank you.
Would you like a spoon?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll use that. Did it land upside or downside?
The good side.
Luckily, I'm just gonna lie down. You're gonna lie down and you can take over too. Right. So cream cheese in.
It was like an explosion.
It was like an explosion. You can clean that explosion up. I think it's gone in the balloon. Okay, so all the cream cheese in.
Wait, there is a bit on the balloon. There is a bit.
And I'm just giving it a quick hand mix together just to start to bring it together. And then I'll get my mixture back in. Oh my goodness, get wine now. Can you use mascarpone cheese? Ooh, I've never tried it, but yes, I don't see why not. I think that would actually taste lovely. You just have a mascarpone icing. You can also use mascarpone by itself with icing sugar, which is good as well. Okay, so quick mix in here. Once you've got your cream cheese in here, you don't want to overmix it because it can start to curdle. So just do it till it's just together. What are we singing?
Nothing.
Nothing, just humming. Okay. Right. So we've got our cream cheese. So if you in your bowl, just give it a little mix. So it's all together in one big blob. And then you're going to put that one big blob right in the middle of your cake. Kate, can you move the scales?
How do we then see them across the chicken?
Can you move the scales?
What scales? This scale.
Can you put them over there?
Okay. Put it there. I don't know.
Put them over there.
What scale?
Can you move this out of the way?
Where's there?
Just there's fine, okay. So, got your cake. Once it's very cool, as Tate said, this is now 2 days old, so I think it's cool. And put your icing on in one big blob right in the middle. Something that a lot of people suffer from when they are icing cakes like this is getting crumbs into their icing. The reason that you get crumbs in your icing is if your icing moves back and forth a lot over the cake. So the best way to do it is to put it on in one big blob and only move your spatula in one direction, if that makes sense. So don't drag your spatula back and forth like this. Push it and then lift it, and push it and lift it, and push it and lift it. And push it gradually, so don't push the whole thing right out to the edge. Start to just, so I'm push and lift and push and lift.
I'll get the spinning and thingy.
The spinny lazy Susan.
Yeah.
So I'm just pushing out and lifting my spatula up every time. I'm not going back and forth. And I'm just kind of easing it out towards the edges rather than suddenly trying to push it right out to the edge. So once you've then got it out pretty much to the edge, now if you want to go back and forth you can, because
Got the spinning.
got the spinning thing. Like, I don't think we need the spinning thing. Don't think we need cake on a lazy Susan. Okay. You can put that way again.
Oh.
You can put that way in. And then if you want to do any decoration on top of your cake, you could, I'm going to get a smaller, if you've got a palette knife, or I'm going to use a smaller clean spatula. If you just press in relatively firmly, so don't be too scared to press in, but equally don't press so hard that you're going to go right down through to the cake. And you can just go back and forth, back and forth,
Oh,
back
you're
and
making
forth,
a
back and forth,
pattern.
and it makes nice
Patterns.
grooves on top of your cake.
Pattern.
The other thing you can do if you're feeling
Wait. Do
slightly...
do it that way. Then it'll be a big pattern.
Well, I was going to say the other thing you can do is if you want to make kind of like a flower pattern, if you start in the middle, go out, and then this would be where it would be good to have the ladies out and in, turning your cake
Mommy!
like that.
Oh, that does look like a flower.
Like that, and then you make sort of like a flower.
Okay, can you spread it back up because it doesn't look.
Do you prefer it in the lining? Yes, so do I.
Either if it's I either would have it.
So back and forth, relatively decent pressure on it. Back and forth, back and forth.
Can I try?
You can try once. One thing about icing, don't keep fiddling with it. Once you have put it on.
What?
Can't cope.
You can't cook.
Lovely, lovely darling.
You're being sarcastic. Take your time out.
Don't keep playing around with it because it could start to curdle, and it's like your hair. It always looks better the less you touch it. So try and just sort of do it once. A lot of the time, what I find when you're icing cakes is you do it one time really quickly and it looks great, and when you try too hard, it doesn't look great. So there we go.
The
Carrot
first
cake
thing
with
was
cream
the
cheese icing on the top.
It was good.
I'll just have a quick look at some questions and see if there's anyone got any questions. Could you add orange zest to the icing? Yes, that would be lovely. That would taste really
Okay,
nice.
I'll go get orange.
Do you do anything with the remaining orange? Well, probably at home, I would say Tate will eat them, but what we do at work is we boil them up. So once you've got your zested oranges at work, we might have, say, a dozen of them or something. If you put them in a big pan of water, boil them for 2 hours, and then blitz them whole with either like a stick blender that you would use for soup or a food processor, and then you can use that for baking another cake. So we used to do a cake, an orange and almond cake, so it was a gluten-free cake with made with ground almonds, and then we used the whole pulped oranges in that, which was lovely. Do you store the icing in the fridge when the cake is cooling? Yes, that's a good idea. You can do that. If you store it in the fridge and it starts to stiffen up, if you what do you do?
Getting the orange?
No, we won't do that.
I want to.
You want to put orange zest on top of the cake?
On mine.
On your bit. Okay. So if I was asking, should we keep the icing in the fridge? I would say yes.
Orange.
But if it firms up too much and you feel like you're not going to be able to spread it, if you just either with your hand or put your beaters back in, and there's someone at the door, you go and check. So just make sure that you soften it up, because if you put it on the cake and it's too hard and you try and move it, it will, again, you'll kind of rip crumbs off the cake. Can you just use butter icing? Yes, you can use just like a buttercream icing, that's fine. Hi from Claire and Stuarton, and thank you. Hi from Lynn and Poppy and Steps. Hi from Katie and Bears Den. We added the juice of the orange juice to the icing. Sorry, the juice of the orange to the icing. That would be lovely. That would be really nice. How long does the cake take to bake? So, sorry, I think a few people were saying that the recipe that we put on Facebook said 40 minutes and I then said 55. I think Gillian and I, the recipe that I printed off must have been different from the one we put online. I'm going to check my cake after 50 minutes. I'm going to check it after 50 and I will insert a good way to check. So when you're baking something like a sponge cake, you don't need to insert a skewer or anything, because you can touch it and it'll spring back and you know it's ready. But something like a carrot cake, where you've got quite moist ingredients in it, if you use either a cocktail stick or something like, are you just cracking into, did you not have used one of the oranges that we just zested? Oh. So after 50 minutes, I would take either a cocktail stick or a skewer, put it right into the centre and bring it out, and then feel it. And if it feels wet, then give your cake another 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And if it comes out dry, then it's ready. Hi from Megan in Scotland.
What Simon said?
Someone's saying, that was so fun, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. We look forward to your Friday bakes. Oh, Rosie Dale, thank you. Lots of people saying, thanks from Connor and Stewarton. Love Jean and Anna in Christon. Oh, thank you. Hi from Amelia in Greenock. So, we will stay on for another couple of minutes, just looking through some comments and things like that and answering some questions. Last week we had a couple of comments about what appeared on the screen after we turned it off. That's not something that we have any control over. So what I would say is we'll just stay on for maybe 5 or 10 minutes and you guys maybe just switch off at your own pace. And then, because as I say, whatever pops up on your screen after I press off, we don't have any control over that. Are you now just eating on the screen? Hi from Sophie and Callum, East Kilbride. Hi from the Martin family. Thanks again, not made this, but going to try it tomorrow. Excellent. Yes, I think we've had lots of comments from people who maybe haven't tried it on the Fridays, but then have made it over the weekend, which is great. Have you been enjoying eating the cakes over the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm too mean and I give the cakes away, but we end up with 2 cakes in this house because we have a demo cake and then we have one in the oven. In fact, I forgot to put a timer on. How long's the cake been in? Don't know. When did we put it in the oven? I could probably go back through Facebook and find out. 20 minutes? 25? No, don't open it. Don't open it. I know it's definitely not been 50 minutes. So I'll check it. There we go. Once again, proving my excellent baking prowess. Forgot to set the timer. Do you need to keep this in the fridge due to the cream cheese? So, because you're mixing the cream cheese with sugar, it does help sort of prolong its life a bit. But probably ideally, so either I would say if you've got somewhere quite cool in the house to keep it, you can put it there, but if your house...
We've got a pantry.
We've got the pantry, which is quite cold. In fact, can you close the door? We have an ongoing war in this house. We've got a little cupboard in there, which has no heating in it. So when the door is open, we call it the door to the Arctic, because it brings all the cold air rushing in. So I could maybe keep it in there, say, because that's quite cool, but you could keep it in the fridge. The nice thing about carrot cake, if you put something like a sponge in the fridge, it makes the sponge go all hard, but actually it doesn't really do that to carrot cake, so yes, maybe keep it in the fridge just to make sure the icing's okay for a few days. Because carrot cake keeps quite well because it's got the carrots in it, so it's so moist, so it actually keeps well for a good few days. What time is it now? It is 4 minutes past 3.
4 minutes past 3.
Thank you from Granny in Edinburgh. Well done, Tate. Oh. How do we soften the icing if it hardens in the fridge? From Olivia and Barbara. So if it hardens in the fridge, if you either take a spoon or a spatula and just by hand give it a right good beat, or get your electric hand mixer back out and just put it in again, and that will just soften it back up again. Thank you. Could we make Empire biscuits next week? Well, Gillian posted the embarrassing clip of Tate. What did you do? You outed the fact that I hadn't made Empire biscuits for ages. Next week we are going to make chocolate cake. So
we are?
Yes.
Oh,
I'll tell you this. So next a week on Sunday, which is Valentine's Day, is Tate's little brother's Brody's 4th birthday. So we decided that we'll try and tie in his birthday cake to our baking session. So we're going to make Granny's chocolate cake. I don't think you ever had Granny's chocolate cake. So my mum, Tate's granny, who was a home ec teacher, makes a lovely chocolate cake, which I don't think I've had for years, but I remember as kids really loving it. So, because we were discussing earlier we're discussing baking a chocolate cake. Me and Jillian were discussing baking chocolate cakes, and I was saying I don't know if we should do a grown-up chocolate cake, like our Three Sisters Bake chocolate Guinness cake, or whether we should do a kid-friendly chocolate cake. And we decided since it was for Rhodey's birthday, we should probably err on the side of kid-friendly. So we're going with Granny's chocolate cake.
Rhodey does like chocolate.
Rhodey does like chocolate.
Wait, has he even tried white chocolate?
Rhodey's favourite thing is actually scones.
I
think that actually, even though we'll bake...
Scone cake!
Well, I think even though we'll bake...
Scone cake.
Even though we'll bake chocolate cake for him to put candles in, I actually think on Sunday I might bake scones. Because I think, to be honest, that's the
Scone cake! Wait, I know! You can... So funny. You can get 4 scones and put them one here, one here, one here, and then you could put icing in the middle, and then it'd be like, and then cover it with the dough, and then it'd be like a scone cake.
Brody's quite a plain and simple guy. He just loves a scone. He just doesn't like anything fancy, likes a scone. So I think we might just make, on Sunday morning, I think we might make some scones and put candles in them. Scones actually is one thing we could do on our Bake Along Live one time. And I was thinking we could have done them on Friday, but then actually scones really only last one day. So we'll do scones another time. So Granny says, well done Nick and Tate, I laughed all the way through this. I need a glass of wine, Granny needs a glass of wine, Mummy needs a glass of wine.
Wait. I understand, what was funny about it?
Julie Hamilton says, scone cake sounds awesome, Tate.
Huh.
And Simon McCarroll says, it smells amazing.
It smells quite good.
Cut a circle out the bottom and fill with sweets. Ava and I would love it. As in a scone, like cut the bottom out of a scone, or cut the bottom out of a cake, whichever. Sounds quite good. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I think you
I tried and failed to make cheese scones, as it's only baked husband will eat. Maybe another week. Oh yeah, well maybe another week we could do scones and we could do
cheese scones.
Do you not like? I love cheese scones. Which is funny because you like scones and you like cheese.
I don't like.
Thank you from Kaylin and Beer's Den. Treasure cake. Ooh.
Treasure cake. What's that?
That Paul McGuire, who was saying about taking a circle out and doing sweets in it, was calling it treasure cake.
Oh.
Thank you from Lachlan and Kira and Beer's Den. We love baking along with you. Oh. Thank you from Alec and Argyle. Dawn Murray says yum yum yummy.
Yummy yummy.
Thank you so much from Charlotte and Gillian and Erskine. Thanks from Cara. Cinnamon cake. Is that a suggestion for next week?
I have no idea what cinnamon is. There's so much cakes out there. Wow.
There's so many cakes. I feel like we could probably do this for years and we'd not run out of cakes. Are you really dirty?
Yeah.
What about cookie cake? Ooh, that's a good idea. We're actually working on our cookie recipe.
Oh yeah, Never mind.
Are you about to make some other confession?
Yes.
What were you going to say?
What was it?
No, we're working on our cookie recipe at work actually. We're going to develop a whole cookie range. Watch this space. Okay. Someone is saying, do we leave it in the tin to cool or put it straight on a rack? So that's Julie Anderson. So I would let it cool in the tin for about an hour and then I would pop it out. If you've got a loose bottom tin. If you've got a solid tin, maybe give it sort of an hour and a half, 2 hours, because you don't want to be turning it out when it's still quite hot and soft. Colleen McKay says our cake smells amazing. Excellent. Thank you from Roshni and Mum in Bear's Den. I love the way to spend my lunch break during a working day. Oh, amazing. Another vote for pineapple upside down cake. We've been getting lots of votes for that one. Julie Anderson says thank you. Kirsty Forbes, I spilt my mum's wine on the floor. I bet she was more upset than when Tate dropped the cream cheese on the floor. In fact, you wipe that up. Can you wipe that up for me? Cream cheese all over the floor.
Does that include my socks?
As in you're going to use your socks to wipe up?
No! No!
Bundt
It's
cake,
splashed-
please.
It's splashed on.
Thank you for a lovely afternoon. See you next week.
Okay,
Thank you for
bye.
Connor and Evie. This is the highlight of our week and our families because they get a delivery at the front door. Yes, amazing. I know, well, we did the same last week actually because we had 2 lemon drizzle cakes. So we took some bits of lemon drizzle cake to various people because I decided having 2 lemon drizzle cakes in the house was a bit dangerous.
But it's
It's
really...
getting a bit ridiculous in this house because
Wait, where's the other one? Oh, yeah, it's in the freezer.
we put some lemon drizzle cake in the freezer as well.
One freezer.
But we've
Maybe-
been having
wait,
quite a
can I
bit
have
of cakes from work at
Can I
home.
have
before-
them? You know what? I'll ask this question after the live video.
Um,
Why am I cleaning up in
We've
the
been doing lots of experimenting at work. Right, do that. So we've got lots of experimental cakes coming home from work, and then we're baking every Friday 2 cakes. So it's just it's all getting very sugar heavy in this house. Someone's saying, can we do emperor biscuits? Yes, we're definitely going to do emperor biscuits. So we're doing chocolate cake next week because it's Brody, my 4-year-old's birthday.
Whee!
And then we'll maybe do empire biscuits the week after that.
Maybe. And
And
then
I promise
and
we'll do
then we'll
empire
do
biscuits.
pineapple up there.
And then maybe we'll do a pineapple up-down cake.
Up there.
Myself and my 5-year-olds have joined in the last few weeks and we really enjoyed them. We're looking forward to chocolate next week. Oh, nice. Gingerbread would be great. That would be great actually. Granny makes, again, Granny's where all the best recipes come from. Granny makes a lovely, I think it's a Flora Shedden gingerbread recipe. It's amazing. She makes a lovely gingerbread.
Oh, I think I've tried that.
Right, we should go now, shouldn't we?
Yeah, bye-bye.
Tidy up. Thank you very much everybody for joining us. Same as every other week, please post photos of your bakes. The easiest way for us to repost them is if you do it as a story on Instagram. So if you've got Instagram, do it as a story on there and then it tells us that you've posted and tagged us and then we can repost it and we put it in our stories. So try and do that. If you don't have Instagram, you can just do it on Facebook as well, but just tag 3 Sisters Bake so we can see all the lovely things you're making. And thank you so much for everybody's lovely feedback. We've been getting loads of really nice messages on Facebook and Instagram and emails and things like that of people saying they're really enjoying it, which is great. And we've been loving it too, despite how I looked 20 minutes ago when Tate was throwing things on the floor. It's been really fun for us as well. We're loving it as well, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We get loads of cakes.
I know,
We
and
get
actually
double
we were discussing what might happen if Tate actually goes back to Tate's in primary 3, so depending on how things go in the next few weeks, if Tate ends up going back to school, then what we might do is we might move the bake along later so that we can still do it when Tate is home from school. But we'll just, as with everything else, we'll just need to see how that goes, don't we?
Like maybe well,
And then even
I have to tell.
uh-oh, I have to tell. That's not a good start.
Wait.
Right.
Something I need to find out, and in case we move there. Something I need to find out.
Thank you so much. This is our first bake, Oren and Mummy. Oh, lovely. Bye, Tate, Nicola, Louise from Pop. I'm inspired to bake. Hi, Louise. Right, we'll say bye-bye now.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. I'll turn off, don't worry. 3. You might want to go back. You go back on.
Press finish.
Okay, bye-bye. You can't see me.
Press
3,
finish.
2, 1, goodbye.